dump him. You kind of just got tossed under the bus. She milked you for the money, lied to your face. Hot take. Destination wedding. Unless you're paying for everyone, don't expect everyone to show up. All my goodwill flew straight out the window. At this point in my life, I think one of my life goals is to be shameless. Now, not without principles or morality or anything like that, but to be as shameless and unapologetically me as an old man in a gym locker room. You know, the ones that walk around, they don't care if they're wearing the cutest, active wear or if they're wearing any active wear at all. They're just confidently themselves. They walk around, they've seen it all. And at this point in their lives, it's just, they have that kind of feeling. So today's theme for our episode is shameless. How shameless can people possibly get? I'm V and welcome to Honey Hearts. And joining behind me is M, also dubbed by you guys as Mr. Deep Voice, my fiance. So you might hear him chime in. And if you hear me say OP, OP just stands for Original Poster. Let's dive into some of these crazy Reddit stories. Our first story is from the subreddit AITA. Am I the a-hole for not helping my brother and my ex with the kid they had together and telling my parents to step up if help is deserved? I, 25-year-old male, was dating Jade, 24-year-old female, for 4 years. We broke up several months ago when I found out she'd been sleeping with my brother, Tommy, 24-year-old male, for months or maybe even years. Hell, maybe they were secretly cheating since the start. I don't even know anymore. Jade and I lived together and I thought we were expecting a baby together. Then I walked in on them. I didn't catch him in the middle of sex or even in bed, but it looked intimate and way too comfortable. They told me I was imagining things, and I said I didn't believe them. Tommy said he'd never do me like that. We're brothers and we're there for each other, and BS like that. I broke up with Jade. She and Tommy still said I was crazy and nothing was going on. But once Jade realized I was serious and I wasn't supporting her through the pregnancy any further and wanted a DNA test, Tommy came crawling to me, begging for me not to put Jade or his kid at risk. He told me I could be the dad and raise the baby and he'd never be with Jade again. But she wanted what I could offer her and the baby, and he wanted the best for his kid. Our parents were shocked by what had happened, but also frustrated because Tommy was bouncing from job to job after college. He had no stability or stable income, and Jade wasn't in a much better position, while I had gone to trade school and was earning good money and had stable employment already. They berated Tommy and Jade like crazy, and I stepped away from the two of them. I said I would only step back in and communicate with Jade if the baby was mine, and I said I'd pay for a DNA test. Even without knowing, they tried to list me as the father on the birth certificate, but luckily I needed to be there, so that failed. My parents paid for Tommy to take a DNA test the same time I did, and the DNA proved he was the father, not me. Okay, quick pause because a lot went on here. This is the ultimate, I feel like, he was not the father moment. What do you mean? We're starting out with, I don't know which betrayal's worse. Is the brother's betrayal worse or the partner's betrayal worse? This is one of those things where it's not even beyond the loss of love here that OP most definitely feels. It's the continuous, I don't know if you call it backstabbing, sidestabbing, in his bed stabbing, whatever's going on there when he walked in on them. But wait. So they were ready to scapegoat OP and have OP be the father, knowing for 100% that he wasn't. And she's cheating with his brother for, who knows how long. And the brother's in on this whole thing. And the irresponsibility, Tommy's the one that's bouncing from job to job. He can't even support himself, much less this incoming baby. But I don't understand. So now they're crawling to OP and saying, no, you can be the father. As if that's some sort of consolation prize. Like, it's okay, we can list you as the dad and you'll take care of the baby. You get to be that role. Thank you. Like, I'm more baffled than ever. Like, you find out everyone's betrayed you in this situation. They're like, but wait, you get to play a fake role and be financially responsible for everybody. Yay, yippee. Okay, but I'm glad that OP stood his ground. And his caveat is, look, if DNA says I'm the dad, I'll be the dad. But otherwise, good luck. I love that parents are on his side. I'm loving that. What I'm a little bit concerned about is what's going to happen after the baby comes out. Because, okay, We know that they tried to list OP as baby daddy on the birth certificate, which I didn't know there was a law about. I just assume, I guess, how the process works is once you burp out the baby, the dad, I assume they asked the parents who were there or mom at the very least, oh, who is the dad? Can I have the full name? And they list it. I didn't know that there was a law or I guess policy, at least at this hospital, that the dad would need to physically be there. So I'm wondering if that's like a state specific thing or if that's just overall US thing.
Well, otherwise, then you could list anyone as a father.
Why is it that the first thing I thought of when you said that is I wonder if there's anybody who ever tried to list a celebrity as a father? Just casually if the woman was giving birth by herself and she could be Delulu and maybe she goes, I don't know, Leonardo DiCaprio. He's the father. I wonder. So I guess it makes sense. You need to have some sort of, well, then again, I wonder if you need to show ID or something, like to prove that you are who you say you are. Or if
Uh,
it's just kind of like,
I hope
uh,
that's the case. There's some verification.
I hope so. It's interesting. I wonder if it's a state thing. But let's see how crazy the story gets. Opie says the DNA proved he was the father, not me. Jade begged me to take her back, and she said the baby was really ours, no matter what DNA said. I blocked her everywhere after that and did the same with Tommy. They still tracked me down in public, but I ignored them. I told Tommy we weren't family anymore and to remember that he was the one who broke our relationship, not me. The baby's out 4 months old now, and my parents are taking issue with the fact that I ignore that the baby exists. Like I now ignore that Tommy and Jade exist. They told me I could have sent the baby a gift or something, that I'm still the uncle if I'm not the father. I told them I wanted nothing to do with the mess, and it's up to Tommy and Jade to figure this shit out. My parents argued that a good uncle was still important, and the baby hasn't done anything to deserve being rejected. I said, the baby's innocent, but they're attached to the parents who are both pieces of shit who deserve nothing from me. I told my parents we're talking about the same people who expected me to believe that I'd raise the kid as my own and they'd stop cheating. Who tried to force my name on the birth certificate? Those people. I said the baby might be doomed, but I don't feel responsible for saving them from that life. My parents said Tommy and Jade need help for the sake of the baby, and the baby's well being should be all anyone cares about. I rolled my eyes, and my parents told me to take this seriously. And there had been a 50% chance the baby was mine. How could all those feelings just vanish like that? They said the baby deserves that, and even Tommy to a point, because no matter what, he's still my brother. I suggested that they should step up if they feel help is so deserved, because I'm not going to. They said I was breaking their hearts and Tommy's hearts, and one day I'd break the baby's heart too. And to think about the bigger picture. Am I the a hole? What?
So I somewhat liked the parents initially, but then my opinions about them went off the cliff, I guess.
All my goodwill flew straight out the window the moment they started playing all these other cards. It's like, I feel like the baby came and they went goo goo gaga, like googly eyed, and it was like, all is forgiven, all is well, everything for baby. I'm so annoyed. I feel so bad for OP because he's alone. He's fighting the hard battle alone. His bae is obviously an ex. His brother, nope, no more. His parents, who you would think were initially on his side, nope, that's gone. Opie, I really hope you have some good, decent friends that you can lean on in this time because my heart breaks for you. Wait, so let's backtrack a little bit. So baby's now 4 months. So 4 months is all it took. That's the time frame I guess it takes for someone to apparently get over the cheating ex and the brother that was involved. Like the whole betrayal, 4 months. It's enough. Get over it. You live and you learn. Things happen. Shit happens. Okay, just go to bed. 4 months. Woo! It's over. Apparently, I cannot believe that they're now mad that OP isn't playing the part of uncle and being a bigger part of the baby's life. How could he? It's just there's too much bad blood and history in the background of this. I don't think OP actually owes the baby anything. When you think about it, he didn't play a part in obviously conceiving it. He didn't urge it to happen. And he was kind of blindsided by the whole thing. So I don't understand. Also, my biggest caveat is when adults, grown adults, try to leverage a baby as the sort of magic wand, everything is better, all beef shall be squashed now. Because The baby's 4 months. I don't think the baby is even cognizant that uncle exists. And if baby grows up whining about how uncle mistreated you, uncle never got you gifts, that's would be only because adults around you are saying it. Because how would any child growing up expect gifts, expect things from other people? Unless there's someone whispering in their ear that, oh, your uncle is supposed to do this, but he's not here. I'm rolling my eyes. And oh, you know what? Justice for rolling eyes. I am tired of people getting annoyed of other people rolling their eyes. I think as a serial eye roller, I was laughing at me here. I think there's a time and place for this expression, and this warrants it. You know what? You should add a scoff into it, OP. Like, ugh. You deserve all the dramatic antics that you want to pull to your parents for the next 4+ months. You know what? Like, lay it on them thick because what do you mean? They, I love how they played the card. You're breaking our hearts because all of a sudden, oh, if you guys are watching, mangoes, furs everywhere. But all of a sudden, OP's heartbreak? Nah, that's the past. But parents' heartbreak because not everyone's sitting around gathered around this newborn baby in the family. That's the real pain. That's where all the hurt should be, right? And beyond that, oh, but at the end of the day, he stole your brother. Well, did Tommy remember that? Did your brother remember that he was your brother when he backstabbed you? Hmm? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm a huge advocate for OP here. OP can do no wrong in this case for me. I don't honestly care if OP's even a little bit petty in this instance of kind of distancing himself from the parents because I would think it's justified. My verdict, easy, not the a-hole. Not your circus, not your monkeys, not your problem. What do you think?
I'm leaning that way as well.
Yeah?
What do the comments say?
I'm eyeing you, Reddit, internet. You better respond well. First comment from Firm Calligrapher. Not the whole, what about your heart? You're being cast as the villain when you've done nothing wrong. They've made their bed. I shouldn't laugh. Get it? They made their bed and now they're sleeping in it. Huh? Get it? Get it? Not gonna lie, I wouldn't be surprised if that was originally OP's bed, but the axe. Ooh, that's weird. That's weird. Yeah. Now, OP does respond to this. He says, mine is supposed to be so full of love for him and the baby, at least that I don't hurt, and can be the bigger person or whatever way they'll try to sell it. I wonder, this is giving very much, I wonder if it's a golden child favoritism or like an older brother favoritism thing, or if it's simply, oh, wait, no. Oh, brother is actually the younger brother. So I misspoke. Brother, they have a year apart. So he's older by a year. Like, I wonder if this is maybe the opposite. Like, baby brother made him oopsie, oops, but now there's a baby. So forgive him as the older brother. I wonder if that has to do with it. Another comment. Not they all protect your peace. You were betrayed by two people who are closest to you. You owe them nothing. Reinforce this to yourself. They did not make a mistake. They made a conscious decision over and over again, and were even going to pass off your brother's child as your own. Ignore the dog whistles and focus on yourself as they sure as hell did. Get therapy, surround yourself with people who support you and your choices. Sometimes it's not enough to cut out just those two toxic evil people, but they're enablers too. I wish you all the best and hope you have a life full of happiness. Oh, I think Common made a really good point here. In a lot of these stories, it's hard enough trying to get Obi to understand that, hey, sometimes you can be gaslit by people close to you and you have to distance yourself or even cut people off to protect your own peace. But this comment goes a step further and say you got to cut off those enablers. Controversial, I think, because this is OP's parents. These are OP's parents, but yeah, I would say cut them off too. Because how long will they keep on harping about, oh, this is your responsibility? It comes from have some generosity, be kind to your brother. He made a oopsie, whatever. Oh, the baby did nothing wrong. To all of a sudden, you need to be the bigger person. To it's your responsibility as an uncle. Like it feels like it's already creeping there. I don't think parents are going to stop, to be honest. Because now baby has become the ultimate halo of, ah, everything must be done for baby. Even if baby honestly doesn't really need presents from the uncle when you think about it in this scenario. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. I would agree with comment. Now, OP does say it was a lot of conscious decisions too, from the cheating to the lying when I did find out, to the trying to manipulate me to take responsibility for their choices, and then even attempting to put me in the birth certificate. So much effing around on me, and my parents suggesting I shouldn't hate Tommy is crazy to me. He's their son and the baby's their grandkids, so I get that they won't cut him off, but to expect me to finance his decisions and be there for him like before, it's wild. I'm lucky I have other better people in my life. Well put. I'm really glad that OP assures us that he has other people not on board the crazy train here. As parents, I think, yeah, sure, you might have some rose colored glasses when it comes to your kids, right? They might mess up really badly and you want to still, catch them when they fall, so to speak. That's fine. But I can never imagine as a parent enforcing it on other children, especially when they're the victims as well and they're the ones being wronged. I'll say it. OP has nothing to be ashamed about, but obviously, brother and cheating ex here, baby mama here, shame on them, and especially the parents. Mm-mm. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Say you and your sibling had a fight. Do you think your parents tend to lean on one person's side versus the other, or are they more fair? Do they let you guys duke it out, or do they kind of take part as mediator?
Um, Usually, I think just mostly let us duke it out, but I don't recall being in a fight with my sibling. It's been such a long time ago when we were kids, I guess. And at that point, parents usually just say, yeah, cut it out. You
That's so simple.
you stop whatever to both of
And
us,
that's
and
it.
that's the end of it. Because it's not anything serious, I would say. But I hope that there isn't a situation where I'm fighting my sibling.
All right.
But if there ever was that situation, I hope my parents are being, I guess, reasonable about
Yeah.
what's going on and not taking sides.
Yeah. I feel like I don't really fight as much with my siblings now. But when I think of as kids, when we're fighting, it would be over the dumbest things. Like, I don't know. If there was like, I don't know, two types of candies, like a blueberry and a raspberry one, and we both wanted the blueberry one because everyone knows blueberry is the superior flavor when it comes to candies, then I tend to kind of just like give up on it. I think when I was much younger, I would say, no, but I want the blueberry. And I would start trying to describe nice things about the raspberry one. So a sibling would try and, my sister would try and pick that one. But as I got older, I kind of just went, it's candy. If it makes my sister that much happier, yeah, I'll just hand over the blueberry one. So I don't think it's that deep, but I know I would be pissed if my parents try to step in and say, no, give up the candy for your sister automatically. Or, oh, you're older. You need to be more generous. You need to automatically give things up. Because I also don't think that helps the dynamic between siblings either. Because it's less about two people resolving their differences and more about, oh, so one person's always going to get the right of way, so to speak, just because. And it feels a little unfair. And I think that breeds resentment. So shaking my head at the parents, shaking my head at basically everybody but OP here. So that was our first story. What do you think? Do you guys agree with my verdict? Do you guys disagree? What are your thoughts on parents meddling in sibling relationships? Let me know in the comments. And if you like the story, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel, guys. Although if you're tuning in from Spotify, don't forget to rate this one 5 stars. Now, our next story is from the subreddit. Am I overreacting? We haven't had one from the subreddit in a while, but I sometimes find some gems here, so I want you guys to hear it. It is our wild pick, and wild pick's just that, a story that's kooky, sometimes mundane, yet crazy at the same time. So let's get into it. OP says, am I overreacting? I bought my pan. Oh, I bought my pan. That is not what I meant to say. Am I overreacting? I bought my boyfriend a $200 pan and told him not to use metal on it. I am slightly getting annoyed just reading this title because any anyone who has cooked or has a favorite pan, okay, this might be TMI. I have a favorite pan. It changes a little bit like every few years, but as someone who loves food and eating, not so much cooking, I have a preference. Like right now, our favorite pan is the This is not sponsored, but Ninja, if you're ever listening, hey, you have a fan here. The Ninja, what is it? The Ninja half pan. I call it the half pan because it's not quite a pot and it's not quite a pan. It's kind of like a pan with really high sides, if that makes sense. So it's great for soup. It's great for meat cooking. It's just great. But when my family first started visiting us, I would hover a little bit in the kitchen because when they heat food, I would get so nervous and I would tell them, please don't use metal spoons on the pans because anyone who's ever used a pan knows, unless they're like the stainless steel ones, like the silver stainless steel metal pans, if that makes sense, any other pan, if you use metal spoons or any metal utensils, you're gonna scrape it up, you're gonna scratch it. The coating just starts peeling. And I heard that it's not safe to cook with that, but also it's very unattractive for the pan. So yeah, that's my pet peeve. Not to mention it sounds horrible. It sounds like, nails on a chalkboard horrible. So my soul's hurting for OP, especially because she apparently bought her boyfriend a $200 pan, which I'm curious about because what pan are you buying from that's $200, girl? But let's see. Opie says, am I overreacting? I bought my boyfriend a $200 pan and told him not to use metal on it. For Christmas, I sold my Nintendo Switch to afford to buy my boyfriend an expensive pan. $200. I told him repeatedly not to use metal on it, not to wash it with steel wool, and to wash it by hand. We live long distance, so I am only able to visit every few months for a week. I got up this morning to make breakfast, took the pot out. Before I even took it out, I felt like it would be scratched. And it is. There are these large gouges and smaller scratches too. I'm upset, like very upset. I'm not sure if this is my overreacting or not. Like, I didn't really have the money to buy it. I sold something I liked in order to get it, and he can't even take care of it properly. Dump him. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You guys are so ready. You guys are so ready. I can feel it to freaking yell at me. But walk with me here. Part of me feels like I'm on the girlfriend side because if I bought my fiance an expensive gift, pan or no pan, right? An expensive, thoughtful gift, and I find out he didn't take care of it, I would kind of be butthurt. Not to be overly dramatic, but it's kind of like, oh, gifts are kind of like my intention and my thoughts. And if you shit in the gift, you're shitting on me and my feelings a little bit, right? I kind of feel that way. So part of me is leaning towards girlfriend. But on the other side, I'm thinking, what if this guy is a complete nut? What if boyfriend just never cooks, doesn't know how to work a pan? Like legit, just incompetent in the kitchen, does not know how to value and cherish a pan or pot, whatever this pan pot thing is. Then I feel like Opie would kind of be dumb to get him a expensive pan or pot. Like it would be one of those really nice unappreciated gifts. So on one hand, I don't think she's overreacting because $200 pan, my heart is hurting for you. Any of her pants that get scratched, my heart hurts a little bit. It's like a scratch on my feelings. But I mean, not to the point where I would, be upset at my partner or anything, but if someone intentionally messed it up, I'll be annoyed. Or if they were careless intentionally, yeah, I'd be annoyed. So I wish we had more information. Now, Opie does give us an image of the said pan. Let me show you guys. Lo and behold, guys, this is the ruined pan pot. You see the scratches? You see those gouges?
I can see them. Yeah.
That's sad. Okay. Part of me feels like, yeah, this pan is unusable now. Because then we watched this whole Emma and I watched this whole Teflon documentary movie thing, and it scarred us because every single time I see a really scratched up pan, I'm like, will this give me cancer? Will this give me disease? What's going to happen? But, yeah, I feel like this pan's kind of done. Not going to lie, I feel like it's kind of done, but you guys can share your verdict. Now, I'm going to vote, OP, you're not overreacting, but do have a conversation with your boyfriend and clue us in on the update. Because is this a case of horrible, negligent chef, or is this an issue of you gave a clueless guy a really expensive gift at the expense of your Nintendo Switch too? Oh, so you have the pain of your gift being ruined and you gave up something you really liked for it. I don't think you're overreacting. Like, your feelings are valid, but I would say have an honest conversation. I will yell at you though, OP, because if you needed to sell a Nintendo Switch to get him this freaking pan, you couldn't afford the pan. So a little financially irresponsible. I hear Caleb Hammer yelling in the background, going like, "No, why did you do that?" What do you think?
For me, I guess it boils down to like how did the pan get damaged?
Well, based on these scratch marks, with my lack of forensic scientist skills, it looks like regular just if it looks like it's like indents multiple repeated. So it's not like a one scratch, it's like multiple. I feel like it's just is it ignorance, maybe lack of knowledge?
Um,
But after the first few scratches, I would hope that you realize like, hey, maybe I shouldn't swipe this with a metal thing or not.
right. So I don't know. I think it still depends. I can't say for sure that that's how it happened. Perhaps the boyfriend just put the pan in the I don't know in the sink and put something else on top of it, and it
Okay.
accidentally scratched or something like that.
Maybe. Okay. Benefit of the
Um,
doubt.
right. But if you did it aimlessly and used, let's say, like a fork or something like that, and it scratched, then yeah, I would say that the boyfriend is kind of a bit of an a-hole.
Yeah.
Especially, I understand. Yeah, it's a gift, so technically you could do whatever you want with that item, but
That's true.
it was prefaced with, "Please don't use anything metal. Please don't scratch it
Yep, that's
up."
true. Opie did say that. Opie did warn him. I I forgot about that. No, you're definitely not overreacting. That just completely if I was like 70-30 on one side, now I'm 100% on OP's side because she told you. She literally told you. I think it's kind of mean to mess up the pan. I know it's just a pan. I'm not saying to break up. Don't worry. That's not what I'm saying, guys. But yeah, this warrants a serious conversation because boyfriend has some explaining to do. Is it an issue? Are you just incompetent? Do you forget? Was it an accident? You're right. Like those all matter. I will say the story was upvoted 28,000 times. So people have a lot to say about this pan situation. First comment from Unpampled Moose. Don't sell something you like in order to buy a gift. Crying emojis. Yeah, I second that. I think the sentiment is very nice, but girl, you could have been playing your Nintendo Switch, and I think boyfriend would have been fine without this really expensive pan. Also, what brand is this dang pan? Because even the ninjas are not that expensive. Like 200 for one pan. I'm kind of judging too because this pan doesn't look all that nice. Although we only see like, you know, the inside of it. So who knows? Random thought though, if you guys have a brand of cookware, kitchenware, kitchen set that you really like, send me your recommendations because I've tried the Caraways. Wait, is it Caraway? No, maybe it is Caraway.
One pan? Is that one?
Oh, wait, no, it's Our Place.
Our place. Why did I say one pan?
I said
Is
Caraway.
that the
You
name?
said one pan.
Is that
I
the
said Our Place.
is that the model of the?
Oh, it is. It is the design of one of their
Okay.
pans. I think they literally call it the one pan, I think. But we tried the Our Place ones, and now we're using the Ninja ones. I feel like I'm getting into that phase of life where I just really like useful home goods. And if they're aesthetically pleasing, even better. I swear, I would love to join a petition where they make more kitchenware in pink. I don't know why most cookware is in black or white. It's a little boring, to be honest. And Our Place is the only one that I've seen that really plays with color. So, Ninja, maybe, do better. Make things pink, please.
White?
Yeah, I've seen pans in white.
Oh.
Well, they're white on the outside, like the outside coating, but the inner part where you cook is still the same black
Yeah, I would
shade.
argue most of them are black or
Yeah.
stainless steel, not white.
Well,
That's a bit rare.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess like when it comes to the aesthetic ones. But yes, do help a girl out. Recommend to me your best cookware. Like they have to be cute, but also useful. Another comment. If you have to tell someone not to use metal on a $200 pan, you don't need to buy that person a $200 pan. Did he want a $200 pan? Seems like he might need the $20 pan from Walmart to fry his eggs with. I mean, you have a point. You have a point. Is that common knowledge? I would think that it's common knowledge at this point to not use metal directly in a pan unless it's like a stainless steel situation, I guess.
Unless it's your first time cooking, I would say.
Yeah, OP doesn't share age, so for all we know, they could be on the younger side, maybe less experience. Another comment, rule of thumb though, don't lend what you can't afford to lose. Don't gift what you can't afford to give up. If you're going to be upset about $200 pan, don't buy a $200 pan. Comments, why did you buy him a $200 pan? What could possibly make it that expensive? Someone said, not the scratch resistance. Man. Wait, I love how everyone is pissed at OP. Like, no one's answering her question, which is, am I overreacting? No. People are saying, why are you buying this man a $200 pan? And what is this $200 pan? I have many questions for you, OP. I'm sorry you're not getting the answer you're looking for. One, I guess you're not overreacting. But on the other hand, this might have been a very poor decision overall. Oh, we do have mention with the Ninja cook set here. Comment, we bought a $200 set from Ninja, which you can use metal on, put in the oven, as well as hob. What the heck is a hob? Hob? Never heard of that. As well as hob, and it has a 30-year warranty. Spending that much on one pan is insane. Oh, people are flexing. Someone even said, I bought a Ninja frying pan for $5 at a yard sale with the intention of hiding my expensive pans from my careless roommates. Turns out the Ninja's the best pan I've ever used. I love how the comments have now evolved into a whole yay praising the Ninja pans at a cheaper price point.
Although there's one downside to
Yeah?
Ninja.
What? Say it. I know what you're going to say, I think.
Yeah, so we have a Ninja pot and it doesn't have a little indent, I guess.
Spout, I guess, on the side of the pot?
Yeah, so when you go pour stuff out, it does not pour nicely.
Nope. That I will say, that is one of the most ingenious kitchenware like designs I've ever seen. So kitchenware where the pot, especially where you are handling liquids or soups a lot, and they have a little indent, like Emma was saying, I'll plop up a photo for you guys, like an indent where you can easily pour, life-changing, magical, one of the best inventions ever. Whoever designed it, I hope, like, I wish you 5,000 years of good luck. Overall, my verdict for you, OP, my heart breaks to tell you this, not overreacting, but please do not get your man a $200 pan when he clearly doesn't know how to use it. I second the comments. Give him the $20 one. I promise you, he will not be able to tell. What would you do if I severely damage one of our pans?
Was it an accident?
Huh?
Was it an accident or was it carelessness?
Is there a difference?
Yes.
What? I could be careless and cause an accident, you know? Will your answer change based on what I say?
Yeah.
Okay, it was just an accident then. Yes, it was just an accident. Hey, to be fair, I have yet to scratch any of our pans today. I've never used a metal thing on our pans or pots. Don't you go sitting there thinking about it. I can see you just mentally reviewing all our pots and pans. Our next story is from the subreddit, Am I the A-hole? Am I the A-hole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding after finding out only our side of the family were having to pay to attend? Okay. This brings a different meaning to pay to play or pay to attend. Interesting. Obligatory. This is a throwaway account for clarification. I'm very active in the D&D sub that I don't particularly want it to be tied to this situation. So my younger sister, Katie, 28-year-old female, and her partner, Chris, 29-year-old male, are getting married in April in Dubai. Ooh, that sounds fun. She's always wanted an extravagant wedding and is going all out on this. So the wedding's happening over 4 days. There's 70 guests, but they want us, me, my husband, and parents, to stay in the same hotel with them along with her bridesmaids, which I am maid of honor, and groomsmen. The hotel is pretty luxe, so with flights, it's costing us just over £2,900 each. I'm going to need some conversion. What is £2,900?
It's over $3,000.
Oh my God. That's a lot. That's like a whole vacation fund.
By the way, US dollars.
That's a lot. Oh, wow. Okay. OP says Chris's family are also staying in the hotel, which includes his parents, 2 brothers, and his nephew. They're well off. I don't know exactly how much they earn combined, but I know Katie's on $88K and she's the lower earner. But about 6 months ago, Chris and Katie came to us and asked to borrow $17K more. They stressed it would be a loan paid over time and said the venue had increased the price. Dubai law was different, blah, blah, blah. They have to pay this money or they'll lose the lot. We believed them, and I offered to loan 7K and my parents the other 10K. So, long story short, I've since found out through someone else that the 17K wasn't for the venue. It was for Chris's family to fly over there. They saw how much it was going to be, didn't want to pay, and refused to go. I asked Katie and she confirmed. So, my first question was if they were paying for his parents, why not pay for ours? I would never expect them to pay for me, even if we couldn't afford it. I'd have wished them well and stayed at home. And her answer was because they can afford it. She got very defensive and said this was the fairest way she could think of doing it. It's hard enough planning a wedding, etc. But when I asked if you genuinely thought this was the fairest way to do it, why did you lie about what the 17K was for and say that it was a venue issue? She couldn't answer. Okay, quick pause. What? See, I have yet to have a destination wedding of my own, so maybe I'm just clueless, but I feel like this is one of those things. If you, as a bride and groom, do a destination wedding, and especially in an expensive area too, like Dubai, and it's a very luxe experience, do you still expect guests to not only pay for their own accommodations and airfare and all of that, and also bring you a wedding gift? Genuine question. Because I know it's very faux pas, like who doesn't bring a gift to a wedding? Right, right, I get it. But if it is to a destination and it's very luxe and nothing's being paid for, I think it's kind of fair in that case to almost, I guess not assume, but like, I guess use the line of my presence is enough of a gift to the couple. Like, because that's a big ask for someone to fly to your wedding. So I don't know. I'm already iffy on that, but sister then lied. The couple then lied and wanted the bride side of the family to shoulder the entire expense for the groom side and $17,000. I'm stressed. I'm stressed for OP. Not even for the bride. I'm stressed because what are they thinking? I think rule of thumb here, common sense to me says if you're going to plan a destination wedding, be prepared for some people not to show up. Not out of bad feelings, but just out of, financial situation of their own that they might not show up. I think you have to account for that and you can't possibly assume that people will go. I also think it's kind of dumb that they didn't have the conversation with groom's family beforehand, before they started planning on this and everything's already set in stone. Because the fact that they're now pushing the bride's family to cough up $17,000, that's a little unfair. That screams a little bit, well, not even a little bit, very deceptive, very manipulative, and just no, that's not how you want to start your married life with both sides of the family. That's just trying to start beef. Ugh. So let's see. OP says, my parents are aware and are very disappointed they lied, but have said they're still attending. But I have backed out. To me, it feels like my parents are being taken advantage of. And if they couldn't afford to pay for both of ours and Chris's parents and his brothers and nephews, then they shouldn't have just paid for the four parents or no one at all. And they especially shouldn't have lied about it. Katie and Chris keep calling and asking me to attend, saying I'm making them feel bad and ruining their day. But the whole thing just feels icky to me. I'm genuine and open book, so be brutal. Am I being an a-hole here? Should I just suck it up and go? Now, we does have some edits, but let's talk about the verdict. For refusing to go, no. I think, if you're invited as a guest to anywhere, you have the right to attend or refuse for whatever reason at will, as you please. In this case, even if it's your sister wedding, you kind of just got tossed under the bus. She milked you for the money, lied to your face, and is now expecting you to go, or otherwise she'll guilt trip you and say, oh, it's my special day. Don't ruin it for me. You kind of ruined it for yourself, sister. Like, what? I am confused. The audacity, I feel so uncomfy. Maybe it's just the main thing. I am very uncomfortable owing anyone or asking people for favors, especially if they're financial. Just because if I don't need to, I don't really season. If I don't need to, I don't see a reason why I should. It's nothing, I guess, it's just weird to me. So I can only imagine asking your parents and your sibling for 17,000. That's not chump change. That's not like $50. That's like thousands. No, girl. What are you gonna say?
I have a hot take here.
Oh man. All right, go.
So I don't think that OP is the a-hole for declining, and of course that I guess was a sister or
Yeah,
brother?
sister.
Sister, definitely an a-hole
Yeah.
about lying and where
Yeah.
they're gonna use the money, especially since they're borrowing from the
Mhm.
family. But I don't think it's OP's kind of business. I would say, so I don't know. Yeah,
Are you taking my
yeah, somewhat
mid-sentence?
because that money is coming from the OP, right?
Yes, part of it. Only
Right.
7,000 of it.
But let's say that money did not come from the OP.
Right.
Then in that regard, I don't think I don't think it's OP's business who
Oh,
the
to make a
sister is
stand.
covering for, covering for the wedding. I
Yeah,
know
right, right.
I would think it's unfair as well, but really that's not OP's business to decide whether, oh, well, that side of the family should also get,
Right, paid for.
their trip covered. I understand that it might seem unfair, but in that particular regard, I don't think it's OP's business to.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from. So if OP didn't lend any money, I think it becomes a situation of if parents knew and gave the money, then that's on them if they want to cover for the other side of the family. But knowing the lying part, for me, it's the lying part.
Right.
If I think sister just made bad choices and then backed herself in a corner, like they're both bride and groom here, right? Because they asked for money. Clearly, poor planning in the process here or poor communication along the way with the in laws. But once you find that out, I feel like you either make peace with the fact that, okay, unfortunate, but groom's family can't be there in person, or you elect to just pay the two parents. Because 17,000 to me doesn't scream the fare of two people, like two of the most important people on his side of the family. It screams, oh, no one on that side wanted to show up. So now we have to be obligated to somehow pay for everybody. 17,000? Yeah, that's definitely not just the parents. No. I I'm pissed for OP here. I hate that now they're guilt tripping her to say, "Oh, you're making us feel bad." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, as you should. You should feel bad. You make poor decisions. You should feel bad for it." I don't believe in coddling grown adults for poor choices. So, yeah, I think it's pretty clear cut. I will say if OP already booked it though, because it sounds like she booked a lot of things already since she has a total cost, I would go. To enjoy, simply to enjoy yourself because otherwise, if you're not able to get the deposit back, that'll be pretty sad. That being said, I think it's up to OP's choice whether she goes or not go. I don't think it makes her the a-hole either way in this particular choice or in this particular situation. My biggest question is this though. If that side is so-called more financially well off, right? Because OP does talk about that. Is it that they just don't feel like going unless it's free? Because that also leaves a sour taste in my mouth because OP did stress that that side is far more well off. So why is OP and parent side the one footing the bill?
Right. Is that what they said?
Well, OP's says Chris's family, the groom's family, includes his parents, two brothers and nephew. They're well off. She doesn't know how much they all are like they earn combined, but Katie, her sister, she knows earns the lowest out of
Oh, okay.
compared to the groom and his family. I'm not saying just because you make more that you should be expected to spend more on someone's wedding, but in this situation, it feels a little bit in poor taste if they're so called well off and the sister knows that and is aware of it, like the bride, and yet feels okay to kind of beg her family, her parents, and put her parents and OP under financial strain to fund one side of the family. It feels a little icky. So I would agree, OP, there's something weird going on. Now let's see some comments before the edits. First comment from constitutional history. Not the whole, yet one of the many reasons I dislike destination weddings. They're the penultimate egocentric events. Yes, hot take, destination wedding. Unless you're paying for everyone, don't expect everyone to show up. That's just the way it is. Sorry. Like, as a bride myself, Emma and I did think about having a overseas wedding with close loved ones. And then we saw the price tag and went, mm, mm, we're not billionaires. So that's not happening. But even if we did go forward with it, we would make sure it's aligned with our budget. But also, the expectation is, oh, I guess not everyone can come. That's unfortunate. But we wouldn't be mad if anyone said, oh no, I can't come if that were the case. So, yeah, you guys will have to let me know if you did a destination wedding. Did all your guests show up? How many people actually showed up? And was there drama behind the scenes when it comes to who's attending? Did someone RSVP yes and then not go? Like, was there drama? Let me know. Now, Obi does respond to this comment. She says, haha, I totally get this. We had a destination wedding in Italy as well, to be honest. However, before we booked it, we did rough price checks in terms of how much it would cost everyone before we booked. It actually ended up being cheaper than a lot of places in the UK, but also made a list of who and what we could afford to pay for and who our non negotiables were in terms of if there were certain people who couldn't make it, afford it, then we just booked somewhere in the UK. It worked out in the end. We had 15 people and we paid for everyone's hotel room, and the flights were about £240 each. So we counted that as everyone's gift to us, as we figured after travel, gifts, etc., it probably wasn't far off what people would pay to attend a local wedding. But I didn't expect Katie to do the same, as I knew she was having 70 people. And at the end of the day, it's her wedding. Oh, okay. I was ready. OP. I was ready to yell at you and say, you had a destination wedding too, girl. But I think OP handled it pretty responsibly and more reasonably, because it's true, depending on what your vision for your wedding is, local can sometimes end up being more expensive for the bride and groom. With that being said, destination will 9 out of 10 times be more expensive for your guests attending. And I like that OP did say that she ended up paying for people's hotels and she counted their airfare and stuff as their gift to the bride and groom. Like, so, your presence was the gift, so to speak. Man, 70 people, I still wouldn't call that a small wedding. I really wouldn't. And to pull that off for a destination, oh, it's exhausting to think about. Another comment. Wait a second. Not only are they not paying for your parents, they're having your parents pay for his. That's like a double whammy. I don't know if you should go or not. Your choice will have a long lasting impact on your relationship with your sister. Only you can decide if that's worth salvaging. That is true. I hate to say it, but weddings are the ultimate make or break in a relationship. I'm not talking about for the married couple. I'm talking about for all your other relationships, right? Your friendships, your family members. Because if you invite someone and they don't have a good reason, like a legitimate reason to not attend your wedding, odds are you're probably not going to be that close after the wedding. That's my take on it. Because even to be invited, in my opinion, to be invited to someone's special day, that's an honor, right? Like, quote unquote, you made the list. Like, you're someone special that they want to see on that day. And generally, not in this destination expensive extravaganza way. Yeah, if someone RSVPs no without a real, normal reason, then yeah, I would say you are risking your relationship. Here, I would agree. OP, it's up to you to decide. Do you see that this is a relationship you want to maintain with your sister? Is this a situation where you would rather suck it up than deal with the drama that it's going to bring? That's I guess that's what it boils down to, right? Now, he does say, I don't want to lose my sister over this, and I don't want to be that person who says it's the principle of the situation. But honestly, it really is. OP, personally, even if it was my own sister, I would stick to my guns for this because it is the principle. And I think the principle is big enough to matter. It's the lying. Like, if it wasn't the lying, then I would reconsider and say, it's her wedding. Fine, I'm going. But the fact that she lied to get what she needed from you, that irks me. And it doesn't seem like she's apologized. It's more feels like, oh, but you guys can afford it. Like, that's her reasoning. Yeah, no, that's a no for me. Do you think this is worth potentially ending the sisterhood over?
It's whatever OP decides. I can't say one way or the other. I mean, she knows how she feels about it, so I wouldn't blame her either way. Whatever
Yeah.
she chooses to do.
I feel like OP already made up their mind. They're just looking for almost like a voice of reason or additional validation. So, OP, if you were looking for that, yeah, don't go. Go. It's up to you, girl. Let's see what some of the edits are. OP says, edit, crumbs. That's a lot of comments. Haha. Thanks so much, everyone. Oh, that's such a cute way of saying, like, Oh, like I assume crumbs is a way of saying like ooh or something like that. Like the American ooh or ah. I'm going to add that to my vocabulary crumbs. Crumbs, that's a lot of comments. Haha. Thanks so much, everyone. Just wanted to answer a couple questions, comments that have come up a lot. One, the repayment. My husband's brother is a solicitor and he kindly drew up a contract and repayment plan for both myself and my parents. So the money will be paid off within 12 months of the wedding. If they don't stick to this, I have access to a free solicitor. Haha. I hope it wouldn't come to that, but that's why I have the papers for worst case scenario. I will say it's pretty smart to draw up a contract between families so because that can get pretty dicey. So rather than like a paper IOU, this is smarter. Okay. Two, OP says, asking for the 7K back, I might be a soft touch, but asking for this back feels like a step too far. Like I'm mad as hell, but not enough to actively try to ruin their wedding a few weeks before, which it feels like right now at least is what that would be doing. But hey, give me a few more days to stew. Huh. I feel complicated about asking for the money back.
And now, especially if you have a contract, you would be an a-hole if you lent that money and they have 12 months to pay it back, and now you ask it, a few days later.
Well, I wonder if in the contract it lists what the intent of the money for and if that would matter.
Okay.
Because if the contract said, "Oh, I'm lending 7K to use purely for the purpose of funding the Dubai hotel stay, whatever, wedding extravaganza."
Technically, that still applies, right?
Oh, I guess. I guess. I mean, yeah, if I was in this situation, I'd be mad. I would be so furious, but I wouldn't ask for the money back, knowing that it's so close to the wedding. Maybe I'm as well, I was gonna say a softie, but in OP's case, OP says a soft touch. I guess is that like one of those UK lingos? Like it's kind of cute. Like maybe I'm also a soft touch or softie. But I won't ask for the money back either in this situation. Edit 2. Thanks again for all the feedback, everyone. Just another quick FYI. A few people have asked about Chris's family or seem to have the impression that they're well off. I'm obviously not privy to their financial situation, but what the limited amount I do know from what Katie has said is Chris and his family grew up very poor. Before all this, I'd always thought Chris was a lovely guy, but I had caught him in the odd but harmless white lie. Things like where he went to school, the type of house he grew up in, etc. I get the impression that he's embarrassed or resentful of his upbringing, given their lack of money. And this is how he now values his own self worth by how much money he has. My guess is when his family said they couldn't go, he panicked and worried that people who would ask why they weren't there, and he would either have to say they couldn't afford it or he couldn't afford to pay them. And looking into his past trauma or experience is not for me to judge. But if that were the case, it just makes me more mad that they both didn't plan ahead and talk to friends and family about what they could afford before booking Dubai. If it was such a deal breaker for his family to be there, they should have factored in the cost of paying for all parents to attend instead of thrusting a 3K per person bill at them and expecting them to rock up. OP's lingo is so interesting to me. Rock up. I have to say, I'm a little bit confused on the financial situation because clearly we're not the only ones thinking that Chris's family is more well off now because comments asked. But OP, I will yell at you because you literally said, and I quote, Chris's family, yada, 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 they're well off.
Yeah.
So is it that they're more financially well off now, like decent now, and they grow up poor? Is that the situation? Or, otherwise, is it that point blank they just can't afford the Dubai trip, even if they're doing pretty okay now? Regardless of whatever the financial situation, sister, like bride and groom are dead. Like, I'll just say it. They suck. They're horrible. Because your trauma doesn't justify being so irresponsible as to shove 3K up all your guests' butts and expecting them to cough up the money. Like, I'm so pissed. Like, were they living in Lululand? Is this like Wedding Vision Takeover or something where, oh, I can't quite afford this whole wedding. So I can only imagine how my guests can afford 3K per person. But, we'll figure it out when the time comes. That would stress me out. I'm a planner, guys. No. Before, when Em and I were in our initial stages of wedding planning, first things what we did were, the initial research of how much things roughly cost. And then we set a budget. I always say, reach for the stars, guys. Reach for the stars within your budget. Like dream, but don't dream too big. Dream moderately and reasonably within the boundaries of what's responsible. because you just don't want to deal with the aftermath. Like, I know a lot of people have their dreams of this is a wedding, this is the dream moment. But at the end of the day, it really is one day. I'm not saying completely, skimp on it. Make it special, but I think there are ways to make it special within the boundaries of what's reasonable. So, my advice to all the brides and grooms out there, please, 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 if you're doing a destination wedding, don't impose on your guests. Like, be reasonable about it. That's my 2 cents. Any other advice that you might have for future or current bride and grooms? No?
No.
No advice at all. Yeah. So those were our stories for today. I hope you guys enjoyed them. We had some relationship ones, some pan ones, kitchen ones, but even a wedding one, a destination wedding one. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like this video and hit subscribe, guys. If you agree or disagree with me, as always, let me know in the comments. Let me have it. Let me hear your thoughts. And if you're listening from Spotify, don't forget to rate this podcast 5 stars. Thanks, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.